Available now from Radiance Films is a film I'd never heard of, which is actually the case for all of Radiance films, but that's a cool thing. From 1975, this is The Sunday Woman. This is an Italian made-for-TV movie. I believe that's the case for this made-for-TV movie, starring Jacqueline, Bisset, Marcello, Mastroianni, and Jean-Louis Trintignant. And it is a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. I expected this to be a drama from reading about it, but it's really funny. And basically the deal here is a really pervy judge is murdered, and clues lead back to it potentially having the involvement of Jacqueline Bisset or Trintignant, and Mastroianni is a police detective trying to figure out who done it and if they're guilty or involved at all. So he becomes very friendly with Bisset, and Trintignant is like a friend of hers, and it's first of all, the transfer looks gorgeous. I popped it in, and it comes up with a little, and I love when they give you these options. Originally intended for broadcast TV, but the cinematographer shot it with 1.8.5 widescreen in mind in case it played in theaters. So it works both ways on your TV. I chose to watch it the way it was originally broadcast to see the whole image, and throughout, you can kind of tell. They used to call it open matte, or people have come to call it open matte when videotapes would be released that way in the old days, where it just wasn't matted theatrically. So that's where you see a lot of boom mics in old movies and stuff. So watching things that way, you often just see a lot more headroom than somebody normally would put into a composition. So the 1.3.3 version plays fine. That's what it would have looked like on Italian TV in the time, and it just has a little bit more headroom and a little bit more legroom here and there. I popped in afterwards, danced through the 1.8.5 version, and it looked perfect. It looked like it was intended to look that way, so it didn't feel cramped or anything like that. So if you want to see more ceilings, this is shot in some kind of cool Italian locations in the mid-70s. So if you want to soak up the decor and footwear a little bit more, I would say go with the 1.3.3. Otherwise, the 1.8.5 looks great, and gorgeous, beautiful transfer for something that was shot for TV. It looks so good. And yeah, like not far into this movie, I started giggling and laughing, and the dialogue is really wild. And I'm like, wow, this is not a heavy film. Now, most of what Radiance has released that I've seen, I haven't seen every title, but most of what they've released has been a bit more on the serious side. When I talk to friends about Radiance, I say they're kind of like Criterion when Criterion was putting out a lot of like really deep dish stuff. And Radiance, I really like the presentation. It's like Criterion, like the menus are very minimalist. They're not like overflowing with extras, but the extras are good and insightful as to what the film is. So it's got a score by Ennio Morricone, by the way, like a memorable good score too. So it's just like this. How did I never hear about this movie? Like, I don't know the history of it as far as this country, like if it got a theatrical release, if it had a video release before this. But when you see, a lot of times I say, if you see a lot of really big names on a film you've never heard of, there's usually a pretty good reason for that. This is not that case. This is a movie that's like, I'm really surprised. Maybe I'm just dumb or I don't go in the right circles and people don't talk about The Sunday Woman, but I'm going to because this was really funny. Let's see. You can watch it in Italian and English subs. It was shot MOS, shot without sound. So the whole thing is dubbed anyway. Dubbed in Italian. I'm reading my notes from across the room. Bisset is dubbed in Italian by another actress. So I believe the other actors dubbed themselves, but she didn't in this case. You have... That's all I had for my notes. You have extras. You have a Richard Dyer appreciation of the film that runs 18 minutes, and he just talks about the film and the history with interspersed with some stills and some clips from the film. You have cinematographer Luciano Tovoli, a 2008 interview that's 22 minutes where he talks about making the film. You get a Giacomo Scarpelli, son of the screenwriter, interview that's 35 minutes. You get, this is interesting, actually very interesting. You get a Jean-Louis Trintignant interview from French TV promoting the film. It's 4 minutes, but the majority of that 4 minutes is a clip from the film. But it's taken from like old French TV videotape materials. So it's the actor from when this movie came out, like sitting on a couch doing a promo interview about the film. Then you get a long clip of the film, which shows you how well the restoration did, because the clip doesn't look as good as this Blu-ray does. Then you get a trailer for the film that's 4 minutes. So I do have the package right here. So if you want to see what that looks like, that is the packaging. I like how Radiance does this Japanese style obi thing. Now, this is actually removable. This is inside the slipcase, so you can take that out if you don't want that look and you want to be able to read what the entire tagline is. But, and again, too, what appears to me, close to me, to be the original poster, which I'm a fan of. I prefer to have the original poster on the cover, or at least as a reversible aspect of the cover, because I'm a collector and I like to have things. And I always find that the poster art, whatever sold the movie when it came out, to me is the best way to sell a movie. Most movie covers, a lot of the time, unless you're talking about, some companies commission new artwork that's really good, but a lot of time it's just these really kind of lame giant faces and Photoshop jobs, and I'm like, the original poster's there. Unless it's a rights or a cost thing, use the original poster, because to me that's like another collectible. If it's a movie I like, it's like, well, I might not be able to afford the poster, I might not have space for the poster, but I've got it right there and I can look at it. Isn't that cool? So the back has what looks like an alternate poster, which is strange, and that looks a little untoward. And on the inside, we have a reversible cover with another version of the poster. And I actually haven't opened this. I mean, I opened it to play the disc, but I haven't looked at this stuff yet. So yeah, reversible cover with no glare. And if you like Jacqueline Bisset, you have, oh wow. Oh. So the murder weapon, I forgot about that. So the murder weapon is a giant palace. It is a giant stone or carved thing of a dongular nature, let's say. And there's a great scene where the detective goes to the artisan shop where these are being manufactured, and it's just rows of them and a giant one like as big as a guy. So there's a picture inside this booklet that I won't show you in case kids are watching, I guess. For the TV version of this, we probably can't show that anyway. I won't show you that, but the rest of it I will. See, it's filled with words and pictures. Pretty lengthy article and some nice pictures too. So this is a really, really good set from Radiance. I'm really, really digging what they do. Radiance, I've mentioned this, but if you've never watched the other reviews, you don't know. Radiance is a new company that is, I think they've been around a year or so, have been releasing in the UK a little bit longer than here. And they grew out of Arrow Video. Somebody who used to work at Arrow Video created Radiance. And Radiance does the kind of stuff that Arrow Academy used to do. Arrow Academy was this like offshoot of Arrow or subdivision of Arrow that would do newer films and documentaries and more like, I don't want to say intelligent, but more dramatic and art house kind of stuff. And Radiance is that. It's dramatic and art house, not new stuff as far as I know. And they sort of dip into the periphery of genre as far as I've seen, but I know they've got some releases that have been in the UK and not here. Arrow also does that, and sometimes they came out over there before and they just haven't put them out here, and sometimes it's a rights thing where somebody else has the rights here or they don't have worldwide rights. At any rate, available now on Blu-ray from Radiance Films, 1975's, for me, pretty highly recommended, The Sunday Woman.